was. And the guy still performs. He's still out there. In fact, I got some tapes here. I'm gonna taped over some of these. Yeah, Cosby. Yeah. I'll let you see. All right. Look, the thing that you gotta remember is these tapes don't come close to the real.
So welcome back, Joe.
Hey, I'm
What's
back.
up? Yeah, yay, back in black. No, I forgot what I was going to tell you. Oh yeah. First of all, what'd you think of Shauna and I doing those weird shows?
I like them.
Yeah. Okay.
The 100th one especially was
Yeah.
really good.
Which one was that? Oh
The
yeah,
100th
the
episode.
sexy aliens and
Yeah.
yeah.
Mostly the Sean making fun of Chip
Yeah.
I was cracking up.
I told him, I re-listened to it, and I was like, oh, my God. I go, that was, and then you're like, thanks, Chip. But anyway.
Yeah.
And then Danielle's like, if Chip ever listens, like, you guys are in trouble. And Sean's like, yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, yeah, it's going to be.
What's he going to do? No, I mean.
And I know.
Yeah,
well,
he
he'll
can get mad.
just go,
He
hey.
might not like it, but
Yeah.
what's he really going to do?
Well, and what's funny with that is, so I go, Danielle, you want to see what Chip looks like on Twitch? I go, but the thing buffers sometimes.
Yeah.
And she's watching it, and she goes, he looks like he's always buffering because he's just like, hey, playing right now, playing Shadows of Mordor, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, my God, that's like the funniest joke ever, And but he's gotten better. I told him the other day there's a guy named Tiger Writer, Writer, on Twitch who's like really good. And Chip was like, oh, I'm trying to be like him. And so I went to see what this guy was like.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched him, and I said, I watched him for like an hour and 20 minutes, and I was cracking up because he was playing this game called SOS. It's like Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also like kind of alien monsters there. So if they bite you, then you become like a zombie.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was like, so the guy was like, oh my God. And they can talk to each other. And he's like, Frederico, help me, no, Frederico. So, now Chip, though, is getting more like he dances at the beginning of his Twitch thing and has music and all kinds of stuff. So,
Is he
getting paid by them? We
No,
told
no.
you he's going to be at TwitchCon. Me and
No.
Sean are going to be there signing autographs for the podcast.
No, is he?
You can be there.
Is he on video? Do you see him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know how. I mean, I didn't know if it was just
You're
the
like,
game. If
delete.
you could just see the game. I didn't know if you could just see the gameplay and hear him, or if you can see him.
No. He's
haven't
got
watched
like his pictures down in the corner.
Okay.
And then, but in the beginning, it's like a big thing. Like he's got friends, like the gifts.
He's got friends?
He's got the gifts things, and there's when Ross and Rachel were singing "Baby Got Back to the Baby,"
Nice.
and she's spanking him. He's got that, and then like all this stuff.
Cool. I'll check
Stuff
it
from
out.
Harry Potter. Like them being goofy dancing. So, first of all,
Yes.
we got an email.
Wow.
Being as it's been so long,
Yes.
I have to remind people of where is my thing. Have to remind people of last time Joe was on, we talked about, I call him Beer Can Joey, and he said, no, he's Tuna Can Joey. So I got this email, which is very weird. I need to talk to your mom about this. But
Jesus.
Joseph, I wanted to let you know that your mother reached out to me and told me to write you. My name is Dr. Franklin, and I delivered you almost 46 years ago. Anyway, your mom told me that you do a pod talk or radio thing. I forgot about this email.
Pod talk. Yeah.
Pod talk. Maybe that should be
radio
a
program.
podcast name. Yeah. She said that your friend said that you had a large penis, the size of a beer can, and you told him that it was the size of a tuna can. I am here to tell you that when you were born, your head came out, but it wasn't the one on your shoulders. Sorry if that embarrasses you, but your mom wanted me to write you. She wanted to make sure that people listen to your radio show knew that she has real men with large packages.
Nice.
Have a good day, Dr. Franklin.
Sounds like my mom.
P.S. I am glad to hear that you made something of yourself and are on the radio. Also, you might want to talk to your mother because it seems like a weird email to me.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Then I got this one. Hey,
You
guys.
know that I was born at a Salvation Army, right?
Really? No, I didn't. Just like donated?
No, the hospital I was born at
Uh-huh.
used to be on Northern and you know where the cemeteries are?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Down there?
Yeah.
What is that at? 50?
Like 59th, yeah.
Where is where did David used to live? Over there. Was it
59th and
Okay, then just
Royal
just
Palm.
past 59th.
Mhm.
There's that restaurant right there on 59th.
Yeah.
and that
the
old.
Parsons,
yeah.
yeah.
A little further down the road, right now, there's a. At least
Quick
there used to
stop?
be a.
Oh.
Before you get to the cemeteries, there's a Salvation Army
Uh-huh.
place that used to be a hospital, and that's where I was born.
Oh, wow.
That little dinky little building,
Wow. That's
single
interesting.
story.
Yeah.
Just that.
No,
yeah.
yeah. They just,
Yeah,
that's
it was
weird.
just a single story hospital.
Sounds like, was it like one of the hospitals, like on that Sword and Scale episode where they were just killing
Probably.
babies and putting them in the garbage
I
can?
probably just got out of there just in time.
That's right. Ran out with your beer dick. Hey guys, thought you guys might get a good laugh about this weird thing I found on Facebook. Can't wait to hear it. And the Facebook post was resolve questions, like it was one of those, Ask Jeeves, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Is this incest? Question mark.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I didn't know if this is actually incest since it wasn't something actually sexual in the technical sense, but here goes. When I was little, my mom used to put a butt plug in me,
Yes.
which she called a poop plug, and I'd wear it all the time. I was
Wow.
told only to take it out to poop, wipe my ass, then put it back in. I was usually young, so I thought this was just something everybody did, but one time in school, I dropped it when I flushed the toilet, and it ended up getting flushed. So when I went back to class, I told my teacher that my poop plug got flushed down the toilet. She had no idea what I was talking about, so she sent me to the school nurse. Well, after trying to explain what a poop plug was for 15 minutes to the school calls the police. The police asked me all these questions, and at first I'm scared because I think I'm in trouble for losing my poop plug. Turns out my mom has schizophrenia, and was making me wear this butt plug so Satan wouldn't stick his dick in my pooper and make me gay. And that was like 5 years ago.
Is that true?
That's what it said. And then somebody wrote that. And then somebody named Young Biochemist wrote, "This is hands down the wildest post on the entire site." And that was from Jason Case. Sent that to me.
That's
He told me that while we were driving
crazy.
around. Yeah. Now here's an observation. I
Okay.
don't mean to run through everything, but I've
Go
been
for it.
waiting for months
I
to tell you
understand.
about this.
That's fine.
This observation. So I had an interesting dream with Tom Cruise in it, because you and I are fans of Tom Cruise, not his
But not
beliefs,
to the
but
point
his.
of dreaming of him.
Oh, well, you should, because
Yeah.
he's sexy.
He's a dreamboat.
The dream started in some apartment where I lived next to these three ladies. Then
hold on.
either.
Before,
Oh, yeah.
just so I don't forget,
Okay.
because I don't dream. I mean, I
Mhm.
don't remember my dreams very often.
Right.
But I had a very weird dream the other day that I remember, so I wanted to tell you about it.
Okay.
But could you finish this first?
All right. Well, don't forget. Here's a pen and there's
Forget what?
paper right there if you want. What?
Forget what?
Don't forget the. Yeah, you're funny. I forgot you're a comedian. I'm used to Sean going, "Forget what? What?"
Huh?
I lived next to these three ladies. Then I either went to work, or the dream just jumped to like a warehouse full of vehicles, and then Tom Cruise's office was in the front with some desks set up outside of Tom's office. So it's like a big hangar, and then we
Okay.
had all these desks. He would leave his door open. First of all, I guess somehow him and I had hung out before, and he told me about how Goose, Anthony Edwards, didn't know what an F-15 was. then a little later, some workers came in, and I started showing them the models on Tom's desk. I whispered to him that I was going to see if they knew what an F-15 was.
Why
So-
would he know what an F-15 was?
Who, these kids? Oh, Goose?
Yeah.
I don't know, because he goes to he was only in Revenge of the Nerds. He doesn't know a movie.
Yeah, but in Top Gun, he wasn't. They weren't flying F-15s.
I don't know. This is what I wrote. So this
F-15 was
shows
an Air
this.
Force jet. They flew F-14s. That's an
First
Navy
of
jet.
all, this shows that this is my dream. So
Oh,
that's
okay,
as
gotcha.
far as I know
Gotcha.
about F-15s. If I would have
Just wanted
talked
to
to
fact
Joe,
check
Joe
dream
would have
a little
been
bit.
like, that was a MiG, and that was a.
And that MiG was not an actual MiG. That was
So,
an
and that-
F-6 or an F-5, I believe.
like a
Another American jet.
big brain on
That they used
Brad.
as a MiG.
So I wanted to see if they knew what an F-15 was.
Yes.
So I tell them a story, but all it is me using two of the models to explain basically the scene in in the movie where they got introverted with
Yeah.
the MiG and took a
And how
photo.
that couldn't happen.
Yeah, it could.
No.
Just like Flight. Did you see Flight with Denzel Washington? He can do anything.
How close were they in that?
They were very close.
Well, they both have.
Tap on the window.
They have the vertical fins on the back of the jet that stick up pretty tall.
Yeah.
they were that
yeah,
close,
that's
they
true.
would
Yeah,
have
yeah, that's right.
touched
You
and
and I
crashed.
talked about that back in the
Yes.
day. Something else that just clued to me that you and I used. Oh, doesn't it seem like just the other day Benson died recently?
Who?
Robert Guillaume.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Rest in peace. But doesn't it seem like just the other day we were telling the D.D. Cohn story where the guy who was in Deep Space Nine, the guy came in and was like, "Hey, D.D." And they went ahead and left it on the show.
Oh,
Doesn't it seem? I guess it doesn't seem
I-
like
no.
yesterday. Joe had to look up and to the right,
yeah.
back and to the
I was
left.
thinking of the guy from Deep Space Nine. And then I remember, okay,
The
and
bald guy, and then
You
he
lost
was-
me at that point, and then I remember. Okay, now I know who that is.
I probably
Now I'm
lost a
trying
lot
to-
of people. Yeah.
But no, I don't remember that story at all ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, are you sure it was me?
Yes, because I remember all things TV and movies.
No, I know you do,
I
but I
don't
don't,
remember
so-
when my wife's birthday is, but I don't remember shoes on the roof of my car. The other day, I had to wear a
Oh,
suit.
you left shoes on.
I had to wear a suit to a function. So put on, it's like business casual, but they wanted me to wear a suit coat. Suit coat, button-up white shirt, suit pants, dress shoes. But I had to then, after that, go to a regular thing where I had to wear my polo shirt and my gray pants and my tennis shoes. Put my tennis shoes up on top of my smart car. I put everything else in the back of the smart car and put all my
Well, maybe
computer
you left
and
them on the
everything
roof
in there.
because they wouldn't fit in your smart car.
And exactly, pretty much, I should have strapped them down.
With
I
the
need
suit
a
in there,
carrier.
there's
Yeah,
couldn't be much room.
and put my wallet. My wallet won't
Yeah.
fit. So then I
Luggage
drive.
rack holding
So,
your
so I drive off, holding all this stuff in my pockets.
cup holders up on the roof rack because there's no room inside.
So I drive to work and I leave, and then I get to work. I do the work, and then I'm like, oh, now I need to change my clothes. And I'm like, where are my tennis shoes? And I'm like, fuck. So then I have to tell Danielle, when you're on Amazon, could you order me some new tennis
So you
shoes?
didn't find them.
So no, they fell out here, and some homeless guy
Oh,
probably
I'm
had
sure
them.
they were before they even hit the ground. Someone
Yeah. Zoink.
yoink.
So that was weird. Some little things that I wrote down, then we'll get to your dream. Filicide is murdering your child. Is it weird that it's named after me? That my dad or mom might want to murder me?
Filicide?
Yeah.
How's it spelled?
Phil. Okay, I don't know. I may
So
have
it's
spelled this.
Phil.
Yeah.
Phil.
Filicide.
No, I didn't know that.
That's murdering
That's
your
pretty
child.
weird.
But now we know when Joe. I'm like, yeah,
That's
Joe
not
was-
just when you want to kill your kid named Phil.
That's right. Oh, maybe. Yeah.
There's no
maybe it's just
Joe-cide
for
or-
me. Maybe. Yeah.
Jake, you know.
Yeah. Oh, see,
Whatever it is, you
Freudian
just put the
slip,
kid's
Joe.
name.
Jake
No, I said-
aside. No, you said Jake.
Well, he's my son, so
I know,
I say.
but you didn't say Josh aside.
Well, I
you
didn't get a
said
chance
Jake.
to.
Poor Jake. Rest in peace, Jake. Okay, so tell me about your dream.
Okay. You know who Adam Savage is?
Yes.
From Mythbusters?
Yeah.
Have you ever
Any.
watched any of his videos?
Yeah,
tested
tested
videos?
and- yeah, yeah.
Like when he's building something or.
Mhm.
So, for some reason, I had a dream where he was filming a video
Mhm.
of how he was going to kill himself.
Wow.
He was going to shoot himself.
Uh-huh.
And he was. Just picture one of those videos,
Uh-huh.
but of him setting up the room.
Mhm.
He's just people in the room helping him do it. Just like, and he's
Like a
talking about
regular
how he's going to do this. And for some reason, he's got a fake leg, like a like a robot leg, like
Yeah.
a fake leg.
Yeah, prosthetic.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it. and then as he's explaining, toward the end, he starts saying kind of why he's doing it is because he was diagnosed with some cancer or something, and he doesn't want to die that way, so he's going to kill himself. But I don't know why I dreamt that. I hadn't seen one of his videos in months.
Do you think that it was because wasn't that around like Robin Williams died, kind of like around this time or
No,
something?
this was just the other day.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking it. No, but I mean an anniversary of Robin Williams' death.
Oh,
And you're thinking,
doubt
there's
it.
somebody that I like, and you're
Maybe.
like Adam Savage, and then you're like, that would be weird because Robin Williams was diagnosed with the imitation
Oh,
I
yeah,
did
yeah.
earlier, the Parkinson's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classy.
But
Yeah, I don't know. It was
you
very
old
weird.
poop. That's my imitation.
Yeah,
Um,
timely reference.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Sean will
On
be like,
Golden Pond.
I heard that, but
No
I
one's
didn't
gonna
get
know that.
Yeah. I told Danielle, you should see on Golden Pond.
It's
It's
depressing.
really good. And she's like, no.
It's depressing as hell.
So the other day, I haven't told this story. Don't
In
even know
minutes,
if I told
I'm
it on
sure.
the no. So the other day I dropped a guy off at work. It wasn't the other day; it was months ago. Because then I wrote it down for our show, and we never did a show.
A dog is licking my leg right now.
So sexy.
Yeah.
A
little higher.
Use your balls. when I put my balls out, it's usually nice, but I guess serve it on plate.
Yeah.
She's picky.
Yeah.
So I used to have a guy lick my balls. No, I used to have Chip and I's friend Mike, who used to work at the sex shop with us.
The gay guy.
No, this was Mike Laletta. Whoops.
Oh, Michael.
But he used to. He'd be like, "Oh, I love when the dog licks the bottom of my feet." So he would just like
Yeah.
kick off his shoes while watching TV and let the dog lick the bottom of his feet. It's like, okay. So I dropped the guy off, and he lives on Gardenia. So I said, or on State. So I said, I'm just going to drive
By your
down to
house?
Gardenia by my
Right
old
where you used
house.
to live?
So I pull up there. It's like 6 a.m. So I pull up there, and I'm looking at Grandma's house, and I'm seeing that there's no cars.
When was this? This was recent?
This was recent.
Okay.
Yeah, this was like maybe a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 2 months ago. So I'm noticing that there's no cars at my grandma's house. My grandma and my house was right next door to each other. So there's no cars in my grandma's yard, in my grandma's driveway.
That's because they don't
So
live
I know
there
we don't
anymore.
live there. Yeah. So I'm like, so I go in through the gate, and
You can't go into this house anymore. It's not yours.
whatever. There's no cars
You
there.
walk in. Hey,
So-
my key still works.
No, so I go in through the gate, and I'm like, I don't think anybody lives here. Like, I think Billy, even though it was a guy I knew, it was the neighbor, Bill and Molly, it was their kid who lived there.
Oh.
So had he came out with a gun, hey, Billy, it's me, Philip. Don't shoot.
Yeah.
Or stop shooting.
Yeah, please.
So, and my mom's got her footprints when she was a little in the concrete. So I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm looking at that.
Is that
And
why your
then-
mom was so short? Because
and
her
then-
feet were in the concrete?
That's right. They cut her. She had a prosthetic leg like Adam Savage. Except she had baby feet.
Yeah,
She put baby legs on.
Yeah.
I want to see how it is to live as a midget. Can I have little feet, little legs? Could I have horse legs? That'd be interesting. What if you were like you had all your limbs cut off? Could you get like jaguar?
What?
So you can
I don't
run,
think
run real
I don't
fast.
think it's just the legs that is why they're
You
fast.
sure? You can
All
do
the
it up.
muscles and
Oh,
everything
okay.
else attached
Get
to
one
them.
of those jet, with the water jets.
Oh,
You
Jesus.
can just always
Yeah.
anyway. So I'm looking around Grandma's house, and I see one of the windows is busted. Where I used to have that little room. I don't know if you
Mhm.
remember.
Yeah.
Like it was real small.
Yeah, it was
not
like a
the
closet.
not the bigger one. Yeah.
I mean, like a big
and-
walk-in closet.
Yeah. So I was like, so there's a window broken or just out, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm looking at that.
So I'm
And-
crawling in that.
No, so I'm like, wow, nobody's here. Like somebody. First of all, I'm thinking, okay, did they move out, and maybe Steve and Cindy. My mom was gonna sell the house to me or give it to me, and I said no, I don't think I want it. So she sold it to Steve and Cindy, who were assholes, who I didn't like, who were friends of her and Jeff. So even though it's a house that I would never live in, but still it's got memories,
Yeah.
so I would want it. So I'm like, oh, I wonder that. And then I go to walk around the back. So now I'm walking between my old house and my grandma's house. And this lady comes out of my old house because I'm also looking at that. And I'm like, oh, wow. I'll go look at that in a minute because it looks like it's been built on and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, hush. So I go to, Shecky, be quiet. So I go to the, so I'm looking in the backyard of my grandma's house, and this lady comes out, and she goes, oh, is everything okay? Because I'm wearing security polo shirt, and I got my
That's
phone.
why you weren't immediately shot.
I got my phone hanging on the side, which looks like they thought I had a gun. So the other woman inside was like,
Did
"There's
you
a
grab
security,
your phone really quick?
There's a security
Back up,
guard
woman."
with a gun." Yeah, back up, or I'll call somebody who can do something. So she goes, "Oh, my friend said somebody with a gun," and I said, "No, it's just my phone." And I go, "No," I said, "My grandma used to live here." I said, "And then I knew Billy," and she goes, "Oh yeah, Billy moved out. They moved out a while ago, and he said some new person owns it or whatever. You know, it's not Bill and Cindy." I said, "Well, that's good." Or Steve and Cindy. I said, "Okay." And then she goes, "I only moved in like a month ago." And I go, "Well, I know Bill and Molly." You know, I'm telling her how I know people around there, so I'm not some weirdo. And she's like, "My name's Sandy." And I go, "Oh my God, my mom's name was Sandy." And she goes, "Oh." And then I'm like, "Is it wrong if I ask if I can look inside the house?"
Oh.
And why? What did you think I was going to ask?
Ask her for a hug.
Yeah,
Use
not
your
yet.
mom's name.
Not yet.
Okay.
So I said, "Can I look in the house?" And I go, "You know what? It's 6 a.m. Like, I'm sorry. Like, never mind. If everybody's asleep, forget about it." She goes, No, it's just me and my friend." I go, "Really?" And I pulled out my knife. I said, I go, "Oh, okay." She goes, "Yeah, come on over." So I came over and she let me in. Now this house, granted, I was little, so it seemed like a big house.
That's
right?
little.
Yeah. So it seems like a big house. I walk in there. It's
No. It's minuscule.
Yeah.
It's
The
probably
the
smaller-
living
It's
room.
not as big as this apartment.
Yeah, the living room was from like I saw the
The back of the
the
house.
back wall. Well, the back wall right there,
Yeah.
and the couch is right by the front door.
It's
And
a
I'm
shotgun
like,
shack.
yeah, and I'm like, holy shit. And then I'm like, oh wow. And then I go, that used to be my room right there. And I go in there, and I'm like, and they've built it out. Like my room was just, like small. Like now they built this out, so it's like a office here. And then they took the bathroom out of that part, put the bathroom in the back. So it's kind of bigger that way. And I go, oh, wow. And I'm looking around, and I go, oh, used to have wood paneling. I'm telling her all that. And I said, wow. I said, I go, just thank you for letting me be here. Like, this is just all these emotions. And I go, can I see my mom and dad's room? And she goes, in my room, bitch. I said, calm down. So I go, and that room, like, I thought, like, my mom and dad would have this big room. No, it's another small
Tiny little
room. And I'm like, and she's got her bed at an angle because it probably wouldn't fit
probably wouldn't fit.
regular. So she's got it, because that room was about maybe this big. It was as big as this room. So she's got her bed at an angle, and I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, wow, this hasn't changed at all. And I'm telling her where everything was. And then I go, can I, and then I walk over to go to the kitchen.
Can I make a sandwich?
That's right. So I go in the kitchen, and I go, this seems a little wider. And she goes, yeah, let me show you something. And they had taken and made the kitchen a little wider. So on the one wall, like, there's this little cubby, but the outside aluminum siding is like right there, like on the inside,
Yeah.
like with this much space, like 3 feet.
Okay.
So it's like, she goes, I was wondering what that was. I go, yeah, that was the outside of the house, which made that kitchen even, like, your shoulder, like, that's our kitchen. Like, you and I are in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God. And I go, and the sink is here. I said, the sink used to be there because they had the stove by where the sink was. And I said, I said the stove was here, and I used to heat up my mom and dad one day. My mom burned my leather jacket because we were trying to heat it up on the stove. We would open the stove, turn it on, and lay my jacket or my socks on there to heat them up. And so I said my leather jacket had like burns on it. And then I go, and we used to have a stand up, like Sanford and Son, out front of Sanford and Son's house at the opening. You see this heater, one of those stand up circular heaters. So I was like, that used to be right here. And the woman goes, I was wondering what those pipes were. And I said, yeah, that's what it was. And so I'm just like, wow. And I'm just standing there, and I'm talking to her and her friend. And all of a sudden, I'm telling them about my grandma's house and me living there, and I
And
get
that's when the
choked up.
cops showed up.
I start getting choked up. Not yet. And no. So I start getting choked up, and I'm getting teary-eyed, and I'm like, oh my God! I go, this is really like emotional. I go, can I hug you?
Oh,
like,
my
thank
God.
you for this. And she goes, no problem. And so she gives me a hug. She's a motherly type. So I give her a hug. I go, oh my gosh, thank you. And then I'm telling
And that's
them
when
all
you stabbed her in the
all the
back.
story. No, and no, I forgot my knife. And so then she goes, I'm having an open house. Like, when I have an open house,
I'm selling this
I'm
dump
invited-
tomorrow.
She goes, I said, no offense, but I said, this house is so small. Like, I always imagine it bigger. I said, granted, I was 14, but this seemed like a big house. So she says, I'm having an open house. I'm going to invite Bill and Molly and Billy and his wife and me, and then she wants to invite me and Danielle. Danielle's like, I'm not setting foot in that neighborhood. I get shot. She goes, you're not either. I said, no, honey, it's okay. I'm with friends. So like 5 people are going to go there. Like,
Yeah.
and plus
house will
those
be
two,
filled.
7 people, like,
In
where are
that
you going to
house.
stand?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't even be in the living room because you're just like, and we used to do the Mike Tyson fights, and we'd sit in the dining room and have the TV
Yeah.
against the far room, the far wall. And yeah, it was crazy. So that was a interesting, emotional thing that I went on.
I've always, every time I go down through the old part of Peoria where I used to live, every time, for whatever reason, I find myself in that neighborhood. I always go down there and just look at the house I used to live in. I always think I'd like to go in and
For
just see.
your dirt clod house, or not the one on
No,
Dunlap?
No, the house when I was real little. That
Right, but
Where
that's
was that?
not the Palmer house or whatever
no,
it was.
that was an
or-
apartment. It was
Oh,
a
okay.
house in Peoria.
Okay.
81st in Peoria.
Oh, okay. See, all I knew about you
You've been
then
there?
was your shirt. Did I? Was I?
Yeah, I think you were there once. You came
Oh,
over.
okay.
one
Yeah.
time.
Then see, that was one where I thought that was a
That
Palmer.
was where I lived.
I thought that was a Palmer house. That's why.
Oh no.
I remember going there once, but I thought that was at everybody's already asleep. Sorry.
That's where I
Hello?
lived when I was
Hello?
born.
Wake up. Yeah.
And then we, when my parents divorced, my mom and I moved,
Mm-hmm.
and then my mom and I moved back into the house when my mom bought it from my dad.
Oh, okay.
That's when I moved, when I left Landmark
Right.
and went to.
Oh, right.
That's where
Yeah,
I went
yeah.
to school.
5th. Right. Yeah. The saddest days of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
My friend Joe, whose arm am I going to run into now? I
Oh.
said. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so another observation
Yes.
is, so this picture on this guy's phone at work. Like, at work, I brought him a picture of my Sig Sauer because he likes guns. So after we talked about guns and I showed him a picture of my gun, then he gets up and asks if I've ever watched Gilligan's Island. And I said yes. Then he
How old
shows
is this
me,
guy?
he's like 60.
Okay.
He's a Vietnam vet.
Okay.
So he shows me a picture of Tina Louise topless, just on his phone.
Seriously?
Like, yeah, he goes, look, he goes, that's Tina Louise. She used to be a porn star. And what's funny about that, about old guys that I wrote here, is that if they do a Google search, just like my dad, when my dad figures out how the internet works, he's going to do
When
a
that day
Google
comes.
search. Yeah, he's going to do a Google search. You could do a Google search on Shirley MacLaine, and all these nude pictures of Shirley MacLaine will pop up. They're all photoshopped,
Oh,
but my
yeah,
dad
yeah,
will
yeah.
fall for every one of them.
What?
Look at her. She's taking a
What
dick in the
movie is
mouth.
that from?
Where can I get that? I typed in Shirley MacLaine dick in her mouth. All that came back was how to be reincarnated. So it just...
Did you tell him that they were
Oh,
probably
so
fake?
all kinds of real and made... No, I knew that one was
Was it
real.
clearly like it was like a modern neck
Yeah.
down? It was a color photo, but it was a black and white
Head.
scotch taped on. He's all, look, it's
No, that was a real one because that was really Tina Louise. You could tell because she used to be like a model before,
oh, okay.
but it wasn't like after
wasn't a
Gilligan's
porn
Island. She didn't.
star.
Right, exactly. She just
They were
did
tasteful
modeling.
nudes.
Yeah, it was just her topless
With a dick in her ass.
and yeah, he said that there. Oh, and then so that's when he goes. there's one of her with a spread bush shot.
No.
I said, oh, okay. Then he is trying to show me pics on his phone. I am watching like from over, like you're over there, and he's scrolling through his phone.
Swiping Tina Louise.
And I'm seeing all his pictures go
Flo
through.
from Alice.
And one, that'd be a good one. She was in Gremlins. One that passed on through.
But then you start hitting modern pictures of him with little kids.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay.
She was also in Golden Girls. She played blind. She was blind. She was Rose's sister.
I remember that.
Trust me, I watch that
sure.
over and over. Well, I want to sleep to quiet.
Yeah.
My wife likes to sleep to something playing, so we play in between. We play mindless Golden Girls, but it's good because then I've already seen them, so I'm like not worried about is Rose going to win the lottery? Is she going to shoot that
with Frasier.
security guard?
Reruns.
Yeah. Oh, they got Home Improvement now on Hulu, which is cool.
Oh.
So he's scrolling through, and what do I see go by? A Confederate flag.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, because I know already he's racist. He said something about towel heads and stuff before, and talked about one day, he goes, let me show you guys this picture. And he goes, look at this. And he's showing me and the front desk clerk, because he's front desk clerk, but she was relieving him. He goes, let me show you this picture. And he shows it to us, and it's of a gay parade. And he's like, look at that. He goes, and this picture, it was a video. This guy had his whole fist up this other guy's ass. And they're just walking around and like nothing, like no big deal. And he goes, it was fucking disgusting and da-da-da and fucking homos and faggots. And we're just like, you're saying this like out loud, like where you work.
We can
and
hear you right now.
Somebody's gonna, do you know that that's not?
This is 2017.
So, speaking of gay dudes,
Oh.
First of all, you watch Will and Grace? Pretty
Yes.
good. So Nick, one of my workers who thinks he's one of those, I'm a supervisor, I'm this, you know, he's got to wear it on his chest or whatever. So he writes me a text one night and says, yeah, I just caught 2 dudes having sex. I said, cool, sexy, did you join in? He said, no, man, no amount of money is worth that. I said, where were they? I said, yeah, right. He said, Silver Mustang handicap spot, lights on, flash my flashlight to do a welfare check, and come across dude riding other dude. There's a dude riding another dude. I said, that is awesome. He said, yep, I wanted to have breakfast, but now I'm repulsed. Actually feel like throwing up and going home drinking a bottle of whiskey. I said,
Jesus
wow,
Christ.
so homophobic.
Yeah.
He said, no, that would imply I'm afraid. I just don't condone the public act of sex when children are in the hotel. Oh, and God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Oh, my God.
Sick-ass motherfuckers. The asshole was meant to give, not receive. I said, tell that to your mom. Laugh out loud. He said, you and your finishes with 78-year-old women, you sick bastard.
How old is this guy?
He's like 30, 37, 35, something like that. But yeah. So, I'm sorry that I saved all the funny for you, Joe, but here's another one. So I'm wearing my Star Wars shirt at Harkins Theaters.
When?
When we used to go to Harkins before we got the movie pass. Months ago when we went and saw whatever the last movie we went and saw at Harkins. And so I'm wearing my Star Wars shirt, and I walk into the restroom, and there's a guy cleaning the restroom, and he goes, and I know all people are created equal, and I should be politically correct, but the guy goes, and I go, okay, and then he goes, nice Star Wars shirt, and I say, oh yeah, thanks, and he's saying nice Star Wars shirt,
Yeah.
and so I'm going to take a leak, and he goes, have you seen the Christmas special? You see Chris? I said, yeah, I saw it. It's horrible. You shouldn't. No, I've already seen it. I know it's bad. Yeah, it's. I thought more, but it's not good. It's not. Okay, yeah, all right.
Trying to piss here.
Yeah, I'm fucking peeing. Don't talk to me. So he was just like, you know, and then I'm washing my hands, and he's still like, yeah, that was weird, and I'm just like, clean the fucking restroom and leave me alone. So it was just this odd fucking cracked me up because I couldn't understand him when he first walked. I think he had to say it 3 times.
Yeah.
What? What? Nice Star Wars shirt. Oh, okay.
He was probably fucking with you.
Maybe, but I doubt it. And then Father Knows Best. So Amber Lee was sick.
Yeah.
And
Sick of
she
him?
had to have some of her stomach and her colon taken out.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
She fell down some stairs. and I think it's
Why
called.
did she think she was pregnant?
I think it's called chronic alcoholism, but she
Yeah.
calls it accident, and she fell, and so she had these big bruises and hurt herself from falling. And then she went to go to the restroom. Dad and her rented a hotel room because that's being fancy, instead of staying in his Saturn.
Yeah, staycation.
And that's right. So he goes, and then she was going to the restroom, and it was all red, like blood red.
Who was he? She was?
Amberly,
Okay.
yeah. And he goes, but then I didn't know if she's lying to me because she had like this red wine that I get her. Maybe she just pouring that in the toilet and being like, look, I'm bleeding. And he goes, and she fell. And I go, and he goes, and she hurt
Did she
herself.
fall?
And I said, she'd have to fall like down a flight of stairs and hit the banister like all the way down or something, like to have that. Like she couldn't just fall down like 2 or 3 stairs and be like, oh my God, I've punctured a
Well, how old is
lung
she?
or something. She's my age. Yeah. My dad's digging into the kiddie pool.
Yeah, I see that.
So then she goes to the doctor. So she doesn't want to go to the doctor. He says, no, we need to take you there. She says, no, I'm going to go to whoever's house and go to her old boyfriend's house. So he's like, so she's like, I knew you'd be upset and you wouldn't want to take me there. And he goes, fine, then you go. And then he goes
Why
back in.
would she go there? Is he a doctor?
Because, no, just because she likes him. And, because
That makes sense.
there was a biker thing going on and she wanted to go to that the next day. So she went with this guy to go to the biker thing. So then the next day he goes and sees her, and then they go to get beer, and then he goes to use his credit card at the bar at the biker thing, and they're like, we're only taking cash, and then he's upset because she didn't tell him and she wants him to spend on her and da-da-da. So then she finally ends up going to the hospital. And they said, oh, yeah, we need to rush you into surgery right now. And they had to take out some of her stomach and some of her colon, like I said, because it was ripped.
Did she do?
It was ripped apart from her colon. I don't know.
She had to have
So
been
they-
in pain.
So they did that. Booze helps, I think.
Oh, that's true.
So they had to do that. And then they said, you might have cancer. So then she
Jesus
tells my
Christ.
dad, and my dad starts
Well,
crying.
we'll put that shit back in if I'm going to die of cancer.
My dad said he starts crying. He's getting teary-eyed because
Yeah,
she
because
has
he's not
cancer.
going to have a place to live anymore.
Meaning his cock and her pussy? Yeah, exactly.
I thought he was living with her.
No.
Oh,
He's living now with a guy named Don. But my mom's...
but they're not having sex.
My mom, Freudian slip. My wife said...
Jesus.
My wife said, wouldn't it be funny if your dad found out that Don was gay? How would he react?
Oh
I
my
said,
God.
oh my God,
That would be
he'd just
hilarious.
be like, he met a guy at the bar once. He was like, he was a real nice guy, but then I found out he was gay and I can't hang out with that guy. I said, Dad, he could have just been a friend. Not all guys want to fuck you in the ass. And he's like, oh, no, I don't want to risk it.
Wow.
I said, okay.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
exactly. So I said, so what was it? Oh, so now she might have cancer that they said.
Mhm.
And so he's like, so I was sad and all this stuff. And then she lost a lot of weight, which she looks good.
Which is good.
But yeah, but I don't know. And so then he's like, but she's okay now. And, and they never said, I guess they came back, said she didn't have cancer or something. And he goes, but that was also something that I didn't know if she'd just tell me that to see how I'd react or what. I said, okay. And then, like 2 times, the second to the last time I talked to him, he goes, yeah. He said, but I'm gonna break up with her. Like, he goes, we're broke up now. Like, it's complete now. Like, we're totally done. And
I'll move out in a few months.
and I was like, no, like I said, he doesn't live with her. He lives
Okay.
with Don, but she lives with a priest or whatever from her church,
Wow.
and she takes Dad to church all the time. She makes him go because she wants him to go. And so Dad's like, so Dad goes, and he said, all these people get to meet me and everything. And he said, and I like going to church. Yet, what's funny about him going to church, I don't know if I told you this, one day I said something about Jesus being 33 and coming back to life 3 years later. Oh, I was telling him about on Easter. I made that comment on Facebook
Zombie
about,
Jesus.
zombie Jesus. And my cousin was like, I don't like that. And not Chip, but another cousin, older cousin. And Dad's like, what do you mean zombie Jesus? And I go, Jesus came back like after 3 days of being dead, comes back. He's like a zombie. And Dad's like, I didn't know about that.
Is that real? Did that
Go,
happen?
yeah, Dad, that happened. It's in the Bible. Oh, okay. So he tells me
I
like
haven't
they
got that far yet.
so he tells me, trust me, he hasn't even broke the seal. So he says, so I'm going to church. He goes, but we're done now. Broke up. So the next time I talk to him, he's like, oh yeah, we're broke up now for real. I said, yeah, you told me. No, we got back together. I said, okay, then I'll believe it when I see it that you're really. He goes, no, this time she said she's going to marry that old boyfriend of hers, the one that she went to. She said he proposed to her and she accepted. Okay. And he goes, but yet she still wants me to go to church with her because she likes me to go to church. And he said, and I said, no, because everybody's going to look at me like, oh, look at this puppy dog following her around. And I said, no, Dad, people in church aren't supposed to judge. You know, that's for me and Joe to do. And I said, people don't. I said, they wouldn't judge you. They're just happy that you believe in God and the spaghetti monster and that you're there. And he's like, spaghetti monster? No.
There's a spaghetti monster?
Wait a minute. I need to change my religion.
I need to read this Bible.
That's right. That sounds awesome. Is it, anyway. So he's like, so I go, they just want you to go. He goes, but I'm not going to go when her and her husband are going, or boyfriend or whatever. Yeah. So then he calls me the other night now again. So maybe that was the third time. Anyway, so then lastly he goes, oh yeah, no, I think she was just messing with me. You know, I told you she was getting married. She said, no, that's not happening. And I think she was just getting a rise out of me, seeing what I would. Said, okay, Dad. But yet on one end he'll be like, oh, she's just a fuck toy. She's just somebody a fuck. She's a piece of ass. And then on the other end, he'll be like, no, but I cried when she had cancer and I love her and da-da-da. And it's like, okay.
Well, maybe her fiance broke it off and now she's, oh, no, that was.
Exactly.
That was
check her Facebook thing.
Yeah.
It'll say in her relationship. So that's all my stuff. I mean, we got more because now we got a new show now to bring up and make up stuff. But I have some things like movies. Have you seen any movies lately? No? Okay, well, let me tell you about Detroit. No, go ahead.
About what?
Detroit was a really good movie.
Detroit? What's that?
It was about the Detroit
So
riots.
a city in Michigan.
But yeah, sure you can be. Anyway, is about the riots in Detroit in the 60s.
Oh, was that
and
the one
there
with,
was this
John
murder.
Boyega?
It was John Boyega, and it had the kid from We're the Millers.
Yeah.
But he's like a cop.
I didn't see it, but I know the movie now.
It was one where it made me feel like I was there, like I was in the hotel with them and the cops. I was worried about what are the cops going to do, just like those people would do. As directed by that girl. Yeah. And Stranger
Things.
We need to get. Do you have that movie? Stranger
Things? I mean,
no.
Stranger Things.
Strange Days.
Strange Days. No, I don't.
Me neither.
I don't know if it's on DVD. On Blu-ray, I mean.
But anyway, so she did that, and it was really good though. Where I told Danielle, I go, I was feeling like nauseous, like I was them being persecuted by the police, like I felt bad. And then Wind River was really good. Did you see that one?
No.
Oh my God, that's so good.
I don't go to the movies as often as you do.
Well, we've got the Movie Pass now, so we could go every day for a month, but we only go maybe once a week. We're supposed to go now and see Snowman, but we haven't been yet. It was good. Did you see that? Yeah, you saw that.
The last movie I saw. What else has been out recently?
What was the one that we just? Oh, Kingsman. No, you went and saw Kingsman last.
That must have been the last one.
Yeah. So. And then Spider-Man was good.
Yeah.
It Comes at Night was not good. Don't rent it. Like we thought it was going to be more horror, but it's more psychological. Whatever. Wasn't that good.
Yeah.
We didn't go to the theater and see that. And then Baby Driver, my wife loves. I love it too, but she's like, she usually doesn't talk much about movies, and she's like, we watched it again the other day, and she's like, that's just genius filmmaking, like cool. Everything, like the music and everything.
Borrow yours and I'll watch it this weekend.
But it's really good. And Hidden Gem Movies is blank because I don't have anything. So what about you, Joe? What have you been up to?
I have not been up to anything, just working a lot with my new schedule. That's why I haven't been over here in so long.
I see.
So, yeah, working nights now, which I like. But
like graveyards?
Well, they only have 2 shifts.
Or like 9 to...
2:30 to 1.
Oh. Well, that's not bad.
No,
that's a little better. So
but it just happens to be I work the days that you're off, and you're
right,
off.
Yeah.
You know, the exact day, we don't have a day off together anymore.
Yeah, one day I had my PlayStation on and it said Joe Weedman's playing, and I was like, that fucker, what the fuck? And then I realized, oh yeah, it's either his son or he is home from
When?
1 or 2 in the morning. I don't know. It was
if it was...
it was way in the morning.
Oh yeah. Then I was got off work.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get home. I leave a little bit early, so
Yeah.
I can be on a little bit early, but not early enough to come over here.
And that one time when I was like, oh, if you could come over. What about what?
What about what?
What about
Bob?
What a last podcast on the left.
I have been listening to it more. I do like it now.
Okay.
So I've been going back as far back as I can go.
Yeah.
I can't go
Like
back
100,
any
like it only
further.
goes to 100 and something.
No, I can go
So-
back to episode 35.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
That's
I'm
the-
sorry.
so
Yeah,
before that, I
won't
can't
go to
listen
1.
to 'em.
Yeah. Me too.
I wanted to listen to the first one.
Yeah, me too.
But,
yeah.
I haven't been listening to every single one, but
Mhm.
most of them.
Yeah,
Choosing some.
what I went is pick and choose, went all the way up, pick and choose, and kind of more of the ones almost up to caught up. So I did all that. Then I
The
went
first ones
back.
I listened to were the most recent ones.
Oh, okay. The Picton.
Yeah, that one.
Look at this pin.
Yeah.
And
But
and
then I
then-
went back. Right now I'm listening to the one about John Wayne Gacy.
oh yeah, I
I'm
went,
listening to all the ones about all the serial
Yeah.
killer stuff,
yeah.
and then there's going to be some other one. I listened to the one about Oklahoma City.
That was
I'm going to
good.
listen to the one about 9/11.
Scientology.
I haven't listened to that one yet.
Scientology's a good one. I realize why I think I like it is because, like I told you that time when I was trying to catch up on Sword and Scale,
Mm-hmm.
I was just listening to every like morbid story, like trying to catch up. So I was
Well, yeah,
listening to
that one's
50.
very dry. And
Yeah.
it's just bare bones, and it's
Yeah,
all drama.
yeah.
This one is that,
So,
but with
yeah.
comedy in it,
Yeah.
so it makes
so,
it a little easier.
So
to
then
take.
I was like, oh my god. So now this one I think I like because it's a little comedy mixed in, and Henry Zabrowski's funny. And then that's where Sean and I were like,
you know that
like
I
we
looked
like
them
weird
up
stuff.
because I didn't know who these people were. Henry is a little guy, and the other guy he's almost 7
he's
feet
like
tall.
6 something. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very funny to see
Yeah.
them standing next to each other.
I don't know if I've seen them standing together, but
I saw a little YouTube video of them on a red carpet at something.
oh, but I saw the YouTube video that they did for their Patreon, like
Oh.
donate to Patreon. And it was just all them, but yeah, and then he works for Fox News, the Ben Kissel.
He works for Fox
So,
News.
Yeah, something like a little like a, kind of an alternate like Fox News, like it's just him at a desk. I think it's just a web series or something, but it's weird. But I think it's just a job for him. Like he seems like
I
he
liked him. No, I don't
leans
like him.
the one. Well, he seems like he leans our way.
Well, that's why I thought so too. But why would he be on Fox News?
And
He
then
must like sexually harassing women.
yeah, you think grabbing him by the pussy. Oh yeah, and then that's what I was gonna get to. Hold a second.
Please hold.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you. Thank you
So
for holding.
first of all,
Yes.
friend at
Ooh,
work.
clipboard.
Friend at work, she goes, I kept telling her, write some emails to us. So all she wrote, these are people that work with us, kind of. So she wrote, hi, my name is Philip, and I am with Community Action Security. For just $4 a day, you can feed a hungry guy a huge cock. With your generous donation, you have fed a hungry cock gobbler such as myself, Seth. So that was written by Seth.
Wow.
And then the other one, Community Action's donations are helpful for my thirst for men's junk. Jason, that's from Jason.
Wow.
And I love cock. It's from Nick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everybody you
So-
work with assumes you are a homosexual.
For one, it was just by the one lady just picking on everybody else.
Oh, I see.
Hey, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that first part of a two-parter. I had Joe over. We recorded for 2 hours. I cut it in 2. I was going to make it a cliffhanger, but I said, no, I don't want to fuck with people. So I'm just going to end it at a spot, and then we'll pick up in 2 weeks where we left off. So it should be great. I mean, I laughed. This made me laugh like several times. Editing it was hilarious. And doing it was hilarious. So I always love to have Joe over. I always love having Sean over. I love doing the show, like I've said. Whether it brings money or not, I love doing it. Makes me laugh. We get to, kick back and talk about whatever we want to talk about. So it's the freedom of a podcast. So in 2 weeks we'll have the second parter, but hope you enjoyed this part. And if you want, subscribe to us on iTunes or write us a review. Send us an email at it's kind of a funny podcast @gmail.com. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/it's kind of a funny podcast. I put up I make some memes, put those up there, kind of funny. Get it? It's kind of a funny podcast. And or send us any emails. I already said that, right? Yeah, send the emails. But you can also send emails through that Facebook page. So for now, I'm Philip, and in 2 weeks you'll hear from me again. So thank you for listening. Have a good day.
Can you really deep throw balloons? Do pregnant strippers make us swoon?